We know that sustainability is on everyone's mind, and we all want to move towards a greener world where the reduction of emissions, energy consumption, and more become our best allies. Today, we have the privilege of uncovering how change begins at home, right in our very own factory in Den Bosch. Established back in the 1990s, our Den Bosch plant has been providing vital services to over 80,000 European customers, as well as applicable customers based in other regions like Japan and USA. Joining us today are two remarkable individuals who are instrumental in driving Omron sustainability mission forward. We have Ben Boxtel, a senior engineer at our Den Bosch factory, and Patrick Kok, an EHS advisor. They will shed light on how Omron tackles sustainability challenges within the plant, all while contributing to the betterment of lives around the globe. Welcome to Omron Sustainability Talks. I'm your host, Andrea For, and today we delve into the heart of sustainable practices by learning from the front lines of a factory that is making a difference. Good morning, Patrick. How is the Omron factory in Den Bosch combating climate change?
Good morning, Andrea. Thank you for having me. We are always looking for points to improve actively in Den Bosch and by having a monthly meeting, which is called Energy Steering Committee. We discuss the previous month's energy consumption and analyze where this consumption can be reduced. As a result, we have already, amongst others, isolated the building outer shell, replaced our lighting to LED, improved humidification inside the factory, and renewed our air compressors to be as efficient as we can.
That's really great. And do you have any statistics that can give us an idea on how much energy consumption have we reduced in the past years or so?
Yes, we have. The last year we used 17% less gas, 3.2% less electricity in comparison to fiscal year 22, but also a total of 7.2 less electricity in comparison to fiscal year 2016.
And how exactly does the factory measure and keep tab of monitoring energy consumption?
We do this, we keep track of energy consumption on a monthly basis, for electricity and gas, by means of a
Mhm.
cockpit that also allows us to identify heating or cooling days. By doing this, we can eliminate influences from the climate. On the other hand, we also keep track on the monthly output of the factory in terms of production. More production generally means more energy consumption.
Mhm.
If we don't do this, we would focus on the wrong things to improve.
Well, so in that case, has the factory then adapted renewable energy sources?
Yes, I am happy to share that we are only using green energy sources. They are certified by CertiQ. Electricity is 100% wind energy, uh, generated in Holland, and gas is 100% compensated by purchasing gold standard certificates. We also have solar panels installed on the south side of our building to support the energy consumption we need.
Wow, that's really great. But apart from this, are there any next steps planned?
Yes, there are. As in the last few years, we identified our opportunities ourselves, and we tackled all those problems in the past. We are now working with a third party to identify even the latest innovations in scope one and two that can help us improve further. We want to know what the latest techniques are for the facilities we have. Furthermore, we are looking into expansion of the solar panels. And finally, we want to improve on scope 3, which includes purchased goods and services, transportation and distribution, commuting of our employees, and end of life treatment of sold products. The collaboration with this third party serves also as our EED audit that we are conducting every 4 years.
And what exactly does scope 1 and scope 2?
Well, that's a good question, Andrea. Under the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, Scope 1 includes the company facilities and the company vehicles. In other words, the buildings and trucks that we use. Scope 2 includes the energy that we purchase to run our operations like electricity and gas, but also steam, heating, and cooling if applicable. Well, for
Okay.
us, it's luckily not that we use steam, heating, and cooling. Only have electricity and gas.
Okay, that's perfect. So now I would like to get some insights into waste management in the Omron factory. So let's go with Ben.
In what ways has the factory implemented waste reduction strategies? And also, what are the key initiatives in place to minimize waste generation?
Well, in line with the reductions Patrick mentioned, the factory has multiple initiatives to minimize waste. When I look at my role as a mechanical engineer, I'm responsible for the assembly platform designs in the factory. A lot of different materials are used to build it. We design our assembly stages in a way which is best to produce the products, but minimize the use of materials. Also, to reduce floor space, we design as compact as possible. The various materials used are reusable for new assembly platforms. And if it is to be thrown away, it can be recycled like aluminium. My responsibility is also during reviews and coaching of the team to reduce waste continuously.
Now that we are on the topic of waste reduction, I would also like to understand any strategies or initiative maybe that you have on plastic wastage in the production processes.
Yeah, sure. Currently, we are working with our waste processor to identify better ways of recycling our plastics. There are new techniques available to segregate different types of plastics easier. All the hard plastics, for example, are reduced to small pieces which are then deposited into a liquid. Now, please let me explain this to you. Because of the different properties of each plastic, they will float at various levels in the liquid and they are therefore easier to separate. Sounds easy, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure that it's not so easy to implement.
That's true, which is why we are going to work with our purchasing department to investigate if it will be possible to eliminate plastics altogether or to set up a packaging return system. And by doing this, the packaging can receive a new purpose multiple times. For example, the reels we use on which the chips arrive in Den Bosch. These reels are made of hard plastics and are now single use and discarded after they are empty. In the future, we will collaborate with our supplier to ensure these reels are fully biodegradable or return them to our supplier so they can reuse them again, reducing the amount of waste at the source.
Okay. And Ben, sustainable supply chain management plays a significant role in achieving overall sustainability goals. How does Omron's factory collaborate with suppliers to ensure environmentally responsible practices throughout the supply chain?
Well, we not only manufacture products designed by our European R&D, but we also have transfers in from Japan. And therefore having two factories producing for the global market instead of one to reduce risk in our supply chains and also reduce air road train transport movements and stock out issues for our local region customers.
Well, looking at another aspect of sustainability, I would like to know how does the factory manage water consumption? I assume maybe that it's not a big problem in Netherlands because of the huge amount of water, but
Yeah, we have plenty of water indeed. You are absolutely right. But we are lucky that we don't have any processed water in our facilities. We use it for sanitary purposes and coffee and tea. So that's not our greatest challenge. But we still want to monitor this on a monthly basis. So if there is any calamity or discrepancy, we know it straight away. So, for example, if there's a leakage in one of the pipes that may be underground, we wouldn't know it. But if we keep track of the water consumption, we actually can see these things quite fast.
wow, it's really interesting this.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed fascinating, considering that manufacturers use water for generating steam for electric power. But as I mentioned, we don't need that, and we have solar panels installed to help us with the energy um, generation.
Mhm. Exactly. So now let's talk a bit about the fact that Omron has a reputation for innovation. Are there any cutting edge technologies, Ben, or practices that the factory has integrated to enhance sustainability and resource efficiency?
Well, about resource efficiency, Omron Factory has become more flexible in working from home for indirect people. Um, they are now working more outside um, at their home, resulting in less driving to work and less energy consumption for the factory. Uh, Talking about flexible, our old assembly lines are currently being upgraded with a flexible height adjustment system um, for a more ergonomic work environment for our resources. And our European R&D department is working on and has already implemented several digitalization solutions for our factory and customers. Through these new DX technologies like Edge, AI, security, digital twin, visualization, more insights can be grabbed for the smart factory assembly cells to improve yield and reduce time to market. So these are really the latest cutting edge innovations. And for factory automation is within my department a key topic. Via smart automation, we can compete with the Asian factories and other competitors. In our factory, we have now three mobile robots for material handling and a six axis robot for one of our NX automated assembly lines. And the next robot is already received for the current automation project.
Now, we know that Omron factory is surrounded by green spaces and it's really beautiful, but how do you ensure that these spaces are not getting affected while operating as an industrial facility?
Well, that's also a good question because our green areas are important to us because we're very close by an urban area and our environment. They are looked after very well. In order to do this, we collaborate with a company that employs people who are facing challenges in their lives. It is our belief in Den Bosch, and I think also Omron, that everybody in our society, no matter who you are or where you're from, you should be able to contribute to it. We have already been doing this for 20 years now.
That's wonderful because every time I imagine industrial setting or I Google it, some images they look really gray and serious. But however, when I have the chance to be there, I really was super surprised and impressed about the green facilities you have.
Yeah, that's one of the ways we want to ensure a healthy space for our people and also for the people that are not working for Omron but are passing us by.
That's perfect. So, Patrick and Ben, after learning about how everything currently operates, I really enjoy concluding interviews by looking towards the future. So, how do you envision Omron's Den Bosch factory sustainability efforts in 2030?
Yeah, for me, it would be great if the factory would become CO2 emission free in 2030. That's my personal goal.
Yeah. Well, what I would like to have is that Omron is an example for other companies in the Netherlands, and they can turn to us for guidance and help on topics they are struggling with. So instead of doing stuff for ourselves, I would like to widen the scope to help other companies achieve the same as Omron as a vision.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you. And I hope we can say this in 2030.
That would be really
Okay,
nice. Yeah.
so that's it. That's it for today's episode. Many thanks to both of you for participating and for your collaboration for sure. It's been really nice to hear from you and gain a better understanding of how the factories operates in terms of sustainability.
You're welcome, Andrea. It was really nice having this interview.
And for our listeners, see you in the next episode and thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.